Hello viewers, welcome to EduTube, your school support educational channel where you can learn and relearn everything. In this series, 50 Commandments in English language, we dive deep into the essential rules and tips to improve your English proficiency. Whether you are a student, a teacher, or just a native or non-native speaker looking to refine your English skills and comprehensively understand the grammatical technicalities of the language, you are in the right place. Before we delve into today's lesson, please kindly click on the subscription button below this video to get notified of more academic lessons like this. And if you are a returning subscriber who has subscribed to our channel already, we say a big thank you for your love and support always. I will see you in a moment. Welcome back. So in our previous lesson, we stopped at commandment number 25, and today we are looking at commandment number 26. So what does commandment number 26 say? Without wasting any more of our time, commandment number 26 says that do not follow a subject nor a modal verb with an adjective. Do not follow a subject nor a modal verb with an adjective. In our previous lesson, we've talked about subject and we've talked about modal verbs, and we've also talked about adjective. But for the benefit of this lesson, since they are the keywords in this commandment, we are still going to delineate them for the benefit of this lesson. So what is subject? A subject is the performer of an action. For example, the man is standing beside a tree. The man is standing beside a tree. Who is standing? The man. So the man is the performer of the action, or the man is the entity we are describing in the sentence. So the man is a subject. And then for modal verbs are auxiliary verbs. They are a category of verbs. They are used along with the lexical verb to portray or convey possibilities, permissions, necessity, obligations, and many more like that. So they are basically used with a lexical verb to portray a more meaningful expression. Okay, now having understood what a subject and modal verbs are, let's then talk about what an adjective is. An adjective is part of speech. It is a word that describes a noun. They are used to describe a noun. For example, the tall man is standing beside a tree. The tall man is standing beside a tree. What word in that sentence is describing the man? The word is tall. So tall is an adjective. So tall describes an adjective. Now, if you look at that sentence, we said the tall man is standing beside a tree. You could see that the tall, which is the adjective, comes right before the man. It comes right before the man. And that consolidates the fact that commandment number 26 says that we should not follow a subject nor a modal verb with an adjective. Basically, it means that an adjective should instead come before a subject, not after a subject. So an adjective should instead come before a subject, not after an adjective, not after a subject, as said by commandment number 26. Now let's take some examples to elucidate what we've been trying to say. Now, the first example says that it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Now you might be looking, what is wrong with this expression? Nothing actually is wrong with the expression, but for the sake of this lesson, in this case, in this context, it's easier said than done has no issue in spoken English, but it might have issue. The issue is when it is used in written English. So the issue could be picked out, or could be figured out, or could be noticed in written English more than in spoken English. It's easier said than done. And why is that? The reason is because it is a pronoun, and then the word that comes after it is an adjective. It's easier said than done. So in spoken English, the error or the issue might not be noticed, but in written English, it will be definitely noticed. So what is actually wrong with that? What is wrong with the expression? What is wrong with the expression is that there is no is, which is the verb that will make the sentence to be grammatically correct. So the right thing to say is, it is easier said than done, not it's easier said than done. However, as I have said earlier, if it's in spoken English, the error or the issue with the sentence might not be noticed, but then in written English, we have to be careful and make sure that we don't put it down as we have said it, which is It's easier said than done. Now, the reason why we might need to pay extra attention to it when it is in written English is because in written English, we might need to contract the sentence by putting apostrophe s, which will contract the pronoun it and the verb is. It is. So if we contract it and is, it becomes it's easier said than done. So you could see why in spoken English it won't be an issue. When in written English, we have to pay extra attention to how the sentence is constructed. So it's easier said than done. In written context, easier comes after it. Easier comes after it, which will be wrong. It's easier said than done. But the right thing to write is it is easier said than done. But if you are contracting the sentence, it's easier said than done. So that means we have contracted it and is. So if you are going to write it down, we have to make sure that we place the apostrophe that signifies the contraction between it and is. Okay, so that is that about example number 1. So it is wrong to say it's easier said than done, or it is wrong to write it's easier said than done. And the right thing to say is it is easier said than done without contraction. But with contraction, we could still say it's easier said than done in spoken English. But in written English, there has to be an apostrophe that will contract the it, which is the pronoun, and the is, which is the verb. Now, example 2 says that she can further from here. She can further from here. She can further from here. Now, going back to our commandment number 26 again, which says that do not follow a subject nor a modal verb with an adjective. Now, our subject in this sentence, she can further from here. Our subject in the sentence, or the person we are talking about in this sentence, is she. And the verb that comes right after it is can. Can is a modal verb, as we have explained at the start of this lesson. So she can further from here. So that would be wrong, going by the commandment number 26, which tells us that do not follow a subject nor a modal verb with an adjective. And here in this example, we have followed a subject she with a modal verb can. So that makes the English word to be grammatically incorrect. Now, what's the correct thing to say? We just simply put a lexical verb after can. So she can proceed further from here, because further is an adjective. So that is why further must not come right after what? Modal verb, which is can. So she can further from here is wrong, and the right thing to say is she can proceed further from here. And example 3 says that we will back from here. We will back from here. We have another modal auxiliary, which is will. So will is coming after she, and then back is coming after will. Back is also an adjective, and our commandment says, the commandment number 26 says that we should not follow a subject nor a modal verb with an adjective. Back is an adjective and is coming right after will, which makes the expression or the sentence to be wrong. So she will back from here is wrong to say. So what's the right thing to say? The right thing to say is simply just to find a lexical verb and put right after what? Will. So what do we say now? We say that we will go back from here. So that is the right thing to say. So you could see we've placed a lexical verb go after will. So will go back from here. So we don't place an adjective after a modal verb as stated by commandment number 26. So we will go back from here, not will back from here. And example number 4 says that the boy will tall. The boy will tall. This is actually a rampant language among children in the locality. So because they try to consider tall as a verb, which is wrong. Tall is an outright adjective. It's a profound adjective. So which can never function as a verb. So the boy will tall. Now, tall is an adjective, as we said, coming after the modal verb will. So with the commandment number 26, we will say, we will nullify the sentence, or we will tag the sentence to be wrong. So it's a wrong expression, it's a wrong sentence to make. So how do we fix that? We simply fix that by putting a lexical verb after will, as we have done in example number 3 and example number 2. So what verb can we put after will to make it correct? Well, we just simply say the boy will be tall. Be is a primary verb to be. So the boy will be tall. So that would be the right thing to say. So it is wrong to say the boy will tall, because tall is an adjective coming after modal verb will, and an adjective must not come after a modal verb. So that is why we have to reconstruct the sentence. The boy will be tall is the right thing to say. Okay, so that is that about commandment number 26. That is that about commandment number 26. So there is an exception to this commandment number 26, as it states that do not follow a subject nor a modal verb with an adjective. Now the exception particularly is focusing on the adjective part. Now the adjectives, as we said, they describe a noun. Now, there are some adjectives that are elusive. They can function as a verb. Even sometimes they can function as a noun, depending on the usage in a context, or depending on the notion behind their usage in a context. Now, some of the examples of adjectives that can function as a verb or as a noun include the ones that we've mentioned earlier, that we've used in our previous examples. And it includes the back and further. Back and further are elusive adjectives. They can function as a noun, they can function as a verb, and they can function as an adjective itself. So this means that if we use such adjective in some context or in some situation after a modal verb or after a subject, we wouldn't have made a wrong expression. An example is, I will back your proposal. I will back your proposal. Our fundamental commandment 26 states that we should not follow a subject nor a modal verbs with an adjective. Now in this example now, it says that I will back your proposal. Back is an adjective and is coming after will, which is a modal verb. So that renders our expression to be wrong. No, it isn't actually wrong, because the notion behind this expression is that back is being used as a verb. So you could see back is an elusive adjective. So this sentence is totally perfect and correct to say, I will back your proposal. In this regard, back is being used as a verb. And then we have another example, which is the further that we have also used in the previous example. And the example says that he plans to further his education in England. He plans to further his education in England. Further here is also used as a verb. It's also used as a verb to explain something that the boy plans to proceed on. So he plans to further his education in England. So back and further, they are elusive adjectives. We also have some other elusive adjectives that can function as a verb, that can also function as a noun and function as an adjective in their true nature. However, there are some obvious adjectives that can never function as a verb nor as a noun. An example is tall. Tall can never function as a noun. Beautiful. Beautiful is an adjective. It can never function as a verb. So you should know how to draw the line between the usage of adjective as a verb and the usage of adjective as adjective in its true nature. Okay, so that is that about that. We hope that you clearly understand and you've clearly grasped something in this lesson, and we hope that you're going to put them into practice both in your spoken and written English. I will see you again in the next lesson. Before I go, please, if you are new to this channel, please kindly hit the subscription button to encourage us to do more of this. And if you are a returning subscriber who has subscribed already, as usual, we say a big thank you for your love and support. I will see you in the next lesson.